Come on now. Yeah. It's us against everybody, everybody fool. Nothing but the Bulls, nothing but the Bulls. It's us against everybody, y'all should know the rules. Nothing but the Bulls, nothing but the Bulls. Live from the Madhouse on Madison, between Damon and Ashland. You see a team of warriors in black with red with some white accents, ready for action. For any set of 18 ballers claiming they active, y'all better ask them LA boys what really happened. It don't matter home or away, we catching y'all lacking. Why you laughing? Think it's all get easy. We send Josh from half court to get busy. We rise quickly because I said he never cower. Be like trading family tree and send us all our flowers. Send them to the locker room, crying in the shower. The way we pull it up, section 25th hours. It's us against everybody, we the crown jewel. Nothing but the Bulls, nothing but the Bulls.
Don Jones is Derek Briscoe, baby.
What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Nothing But Bull podcast. All real fans, all Bulls, no bullshit. I'm your host, Young Jordan. As always, I'm with my co-host, my guy, John and C. Red. And together are the Bulls Bros. And today, we kick off the Dynasty Series with the one that started it all, 1991. Everybody obviously remembers the championship, but it didn't quite look like a championship season when it started, John.
That's right. A lot of people in Bulls Nation, especially the younger generation, might forget that the Bulls started the season 0-3. And the best part about that is the Bulls never lost 3 games in a row ever again when Michael Jordan put on a Bulls uniform. That never happened again. Yep. So a lot of critics were bashing the Bulls, saying, they've lost 3 straight years to the Pistons. They choked in Game 7 last year. The Bulls are done, and they were far from being done. They were just getting started. So,
yep, they were just getting started, and so was Michael Jordan, because at that time it was a lot of criticism on MJ that scoring champions don't win world championships.
It was a thing that never really happened before. Looking back on NBA history, even Wilt Chamberlain, the championship seasons that he had, he was past those seasons of leading the league in scoring. It was more towards the end of his career. The NBA never really saw that. It was extremely rare when it did happen. And another thing too, it was normally a big man up to that point that led championship teams, forwards, centers. It was very rare where you had a shooting guard, leading a team to a championship. So,
yeah, it was a big man's league, like how today's NBA is transitioning back to being a big man's league.
Yes.
At that point, center, power forwards, those were your guys that were making your team win. And Jordan came in and changed everything.
That's right.
I mean, that's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT. So a lot of the criticism was Jordan scores too much. The triangle won't work. There was a lot of criticism on that. You can't beat the Pistons. Jordan can't win championships. So overcame all of those. And that really was the beginning of where we saw Jordan mature into that killer that he became known for the rest of his career as a Bull.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Samity in the chat. Says, afternoon, evening, gentlemen. Cheers from Cali. Shout out, bro. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Chris also says, what's good, squad? What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Chris?
He's currently ducking the other members of our group because he went and saw Spider-Man without them. So shout out to Chris. But yeah, as you said, man, a lot of the criticism was Jordan scoring too much, said the triangle wouldn't work, but the triangle is really what transformed the Bulls into a actual team instead of Jordan and the Jordaneers from the
That's
early
right.
years.
That's right. John Paxson was a big part. He played off of Jordan so well that in game 2, I believe he shot 8 for 8 from the field. For the series, I think he shot like 68%. And these were all shots from 15 feet and out. They weren't slashing shots. They were perimeter shots, 3-point shots. So it's definitely a marksman and very clutch.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan needed somebody in that backcourt with him, and John Paxson was tough enough to, roll with how the NBA was at that time, especially the Bulls' problem with the Pistons, who were known as the bad boys back then, and had their Jordan rules where really they were just beating the shit out of people. And it would be flagrant twos if it was today's NBA.
Yep. And it wasn't just to Jordan. It was they tried to get all of his teammates. And it wasn't until 91 where they were throwing fists, they were pushing guys, slashing to the hoop. In years past, our Bulls would retaliate. But this year they didn't. They just got right up and played and looked him in the face and said, "You can do whatever the fuck you want. We're sweeping you guys. And you guys are going to go cry and pout off the floor as we do it." And it's still going to be talked about 35 years from now. And guess what, Isaiah Thomas? It's going to tarnish your legacy and reputation so bad to where you don't even get selected to be in the 92 Dream Team.
Yeah, man. After 3 long years of dealing with the Pistons, the Bulls swept them. They didn't just beat them, they swept them. And at that time, it was kind of unheard of for the other team to just walk off the court and not congratulate anybody. I believe the only Piston that stayed to congratulate the Bulls was
I think it was Joe Dumars.
Yeah, Joe Dumars.
It was Joe Dumars. So, and that's the thing that you have to think about with 91. You've got 2 types of championships that year. 91 was the emotional championship. That beating the Pistons was the emotional championship, and beating the Lakers was the historical championship.
Right. So, anybody in the chat, if y'all want to answer this question as well, where were you when the Bulls won that 91 championship? For me, it was definitely somewhere, probably in the house. I was 5, so
that's the championship that I remember the least. Matter of fact, I remember it as the McDonald's championship and ketchup and mustard, because when the Bulls played the Lakers at the Forum, it looked like ketchup and mustard. So, that just shows the maturity. I remember a lot of the series. I remember watching it with my dad, but I don't really remember anything specific besides the colors. And I know that's crazy. I got excited about some Jordan moves. I barely remember the Bulls winning the championship. The first championship that I really, really remember is 92. I'll have a story for that one on our next Dynasty Series episode.
Shout out to Kelly Wilson in the chat, our guest from
Kelly, what's going on?
Lovable alumni.
Yes, the Lovable herself.
She was
in the building.
But
I was in high school, but oblivious.
Seminity says he was not even 1 year. So.
I was not even 1 year old yet. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I figured like most of the people, like they didn't really witness this one.
Yeah,
myself included. Man, because it was maybe a week or so before I turned 6. So my memory of that championship isn't really the greatest at all.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I knew who Jordan was. I knew who the Bulls were. I was already a fan. Like, I wanted them to win, but I was, how old was I? I was 9 years old, so just wasn't a big deal at that time. Watched it because it was on the TV. My dad kept it on the TV. He was definitely pulling for the Bulls. He felt like the Lakers had won enough. I'm the granny here, I see.
somebody says my dad has a 91 championship learning to fly. John texted me the video of that yesterday.
Bro, you can watch it on YouTube as many times as you want, anytime you want. I've watched it twice in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I watched it earlier today at work. I just had it on my AirPods.
Yeah. The music on that one is very early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. You can tell it's an old presentation.
I was like, man, this music is horrible.
Yeah, right. New original VHS. Yeah, the music was definitely not all that. For sure.
So, another question that everybody else can chime in on as well is, what do you think was the biggest reason the Bulls finally broke through in 91?
The biggest reason. What was the biggest reason? My ranking. Well, I'm gonna go one A, 1B with this one. It was a combination of Michael Jordan maturing into a complete and total assassin and learning to give the ball up at the right moment. Right, that's one. Two was Scottie Pippen becoming an elite all-star caliber player. A guy that didn't get frazzled when he had run-ins with the Pistons, still played well, still kept his head. That was a big part. And just overall, the team maturity. The Bulls had experienced 3 consecutive painful playoff losses, and year by year just escalated to be more and more painful. The first year in 88, they played the Pistons in the semifinals. Following year, Eastern Conference Finals. And then the year after that, it was the Eastern Conference Finals game, losing in 7. And got blown out on national television because a big part of that was Scottie Pippen was sidelined for the most part with the migraine.
Yeah, the migraine game.
The migraine game. So, yeah, I think mental toughness had a big part of it. They stopped fearing the Pistons, and once they stopped fearing the Pistons, which was their biggest nemesis, they just took off and controlled the NBA from there. Controlled it.
Yep. Yeah, I'll go 1A, 1B, 2. One was Jordan getting bigger.
Yeah.
He was tired. He was tired of getting beat up. He said, man, I'm going to hit this weight room.
Yes.
I believe, if I'm correct, he said that the team really didn't lift much weights before that off season.
That's correct.
And to get in preparation for the Pistons and the Jordan rules and all those underhanded tactics that they would use. So Jordan got stronger.
Great point. Great point. If you look at his cards from the early 90s, like late 80s, he was listed at 198 pounds. And after that season, 216. So that was pure muscle that he put on. So that's a great point. Adding in that extra muscle played a big role. Yeah,
man. Somebody says realizing that Jordan and Pippen were both ahead of their time.
They were.
Being such a complete player and Pip being that two-way playmaker. Yeah, I mean, Scottie Pippen became that point forward before it was ever considered a thing.
That's right.
He said Bulls ahead of the curve with strength and conditioning, the Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club. Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Yeah, man. You don't know about the Breakfast Club. It was Jordan and a few of his teammates getting up like 5, 6 a.m., hitting the gym.
That's right.
getting their bodies ready to go after those championships. And obviously it paid off. But also I'm going to say that the 1B was the whole triangle offense.
Yeah.
Tex winners invented it, Phil implemented it, and that helped Jordan's decision making, and trusting his teammates to where he didn't have to feel like he had to do everything himself.
Yeah,
that's pretty much was the downfall of the Bulls teams and those playoffs to the Pistons before, because if you stopped Jordan and put all your focus on Jordan, nobody else could really hurt you.
that's right. And in 91 finals, he didn't average the most points. He averaged 31 points a game, but he averaged by far the most assists that he ever did in his career, 11.2 assists per game.
Yep. The Doberman defense as well.
Yeah.
As you pointed out. You had Jordan Pippen coming at you. You had Horace down there.
Bill Cartwright and those elbows.
Yeah. Sharp ass elbows.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a part of it. The triangle, the Doberman defense, getting stronger, as you said, getting mentally tougher.
Yeah.
Scotty, and another question for the audience: was 91 the season that Scotty officially became a superstar?
You know, he, believe it or not, his first All-Star season was in the 89-90 season. He didn't make the All-Star season in 91. Can you believe that? I actually didn't realize that until today. I was looking through, I'm like, wait a second, really? No, he missed the All-Star game. They really slept on that. But so he was already a star, I would say, but he became a legit bona fide superstar, a top 10, top 5, even a top 5 talent once we got through the 91 championship series, because he was such a key part of shutting down Magic Johnson as well as anybody. So he played Magic about as much as Jordan did, and really played him a little more physical, a little more tough. He had a little bit more length, and Magic Johnson had never seen a 6'8" guy just basically hound him the whole length of the court. I mean, there were possessions where he couldn't even get it past the half court line. That's how well Scotty was playing him. So yeah, Scotty definitely developed into a superstar caliber player that playoff series.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out Bulls for Life in the chat. So shout out to 2 of the best Bulls podcasters.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So yeah, I definitely want to say Scotty, he elevated in that 91 series, like you spoke with too, about guarding Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
So Jordan got on foul trouble. He got like 3 fouls early. I believe it's game 2.
Game 2. That's right.
Phil put Scotty on Magic, and that really threw Magic off his game.
Yeah, it threw him off his game, and then it led to 13 straight field goals, and the last field goal is one that we'll always remember. The shot, the change of hands in midair over long arm Sam Perkins. What a way to cap that off.
Yeah. The famous switch hand layup by Jordan. That's really what people remember from that game. But the first game really had came down to the wire, and Jordan had a shot that would have got them the lead, I think, with about 9 seconds left, and it rimmed in and out.
It spun out. Literally, it was in the cylinder, and then it decided to spin out the last second.
If that shot had dropped, you're probably talking about a complete sweep.
Yes.
The gentleman's sweep that ended up happening, because Lakers won that game 1 by the skin of their teeth, and that was the last game they won in that series. Yeah,
and the Bulls as a team would have finished the playoff season 15-1. Ended up being 15-2, but 15-1. They had only lost the one game against the Sixers in the semifinals. So, pure dominance. And, when you look at the playoff run the Bulls had, that 91 team is second to none, even more so than the 96 team. I wouldn't say we struggled, but we did lose 2 games in the finals. So, But pure domination. That team was playing on another level. There was a time, I would say probably during the COVID time, and we were just stuck in the house. I watched pretty much every game from 91, and that team was athletic. They were different. Athletically, they were at their prime. They were Scotty and Michael slashing more than in the late 90s. Very, very rare would you see a three-point shot taken. I mean, later on, Scotty was probably more than half of Scotty's shots were from the three-point line, especially on a fast break. He'd like to cast it from 3. So when Scotty was guarding Magic, where did MJ stay on? Byron Scott? Yeah, Byron Scott, maybe even James Worthy, Terry Teagle, whoever was out there.
Yeah. Sammy said, that following that first loss in game 1, that allowed the Bulls to adjust and grow. And I mean, that's a good point because
very good.
Even after Phil has switched Scotty to guard Magic, the Lakers adjusted and we're going to Vlade Divac.
Yeah.
And Divac was lighting us up.
Mm-hmm.
And still, Phil put in good news, Cliff Livingston.
Good news. One of the unsung heroes of that team. Good news. Yes. Gotta love good news. That game, and Marv Albert said it himself right at tip-off in game 2. The Chicago Bulls admit that this is the biggest game of their basketball lives, and they played like it.
Yeah.
One of the best games the Bulls have ever played, period, in the franchise history.
It's probably one of the greatest games in finals history.
Definitely. In terms of efficiency, the Bulls shot, I believe, 64% from the field that game. I mean, they were just automatic. And it all really started with Jordan being the conductor. He started off, he was finding guys, slashing, cutting to the hoop, Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright, John Paxson on the perimeter, Scotty slashing. It was beautiful basketball. And Michael was not looking to score in that first half.
Yep. I think that became kind of a staple, right? Because I believe they started the first 3 possessions, they would go to Bill Cartwright to let him get going. And
yeah, the first 3 possessions, but definitely not the last 3, right, Sam Smith? Jordan, in reference to the Jordan Rules book.
Yeah, so they would go to Bill to get him started off, and the first quarter, MJ would kind of try to get the team involved.
Yeah. Then
when it was time to take over, the killer was unleashed.
That's right.
That pretty much sums up how, we started winning championships with that mentality. But, we got to go back to the Pistons because I got to ask the question, was beating Detroit more satisfying than winning the finals?
Well, this goes back to what I said earlier. Emotionally, yes. That was the emotional championship. After everything that the Bulls had been through for 3 consecutive years, that was the emotional championship.
It's a tough question. I'm going to say it wasn't. I'm going to say the finals was more satisfying because had they beat the Pistons and lost to the Lakers,
good point.
I don't think anybody would have been celebrating this finals like 40 years removed from it. So, I mean, I understand it was definitely a monumental point in that finals, and it definitely gave the Bulls the confidence to go on and play how they did in the finals. But you still had to get through the finals, and you had to get through Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, Vlade Divac, Lakers.
Yeah. Showtime.
And they did it in five games, which is the least amount of games it took us to complete a championship.
And really, game 2 was huge, but even more so than that, game 3 was what really decided that series, because the Bulls were down by 13. Going into the fourth quarter, down by 13, Scottie Pippen fouled out of the game with a couple minutes to go. They were down by that point. So, Bulls are down by 2. They give the ball to Jordan with about 15 seconds to go. He pulls up over, I believe, Byron Scott. Pull-up jumper with 9 seconds to go. Swishes it. Sends the game into overtime, and they win in overtime. That was demoralizing because the following game, the Lakers ended up losing by, I believe, 15, game 4. Wasn't even close. So that, to me, game 3 was when they really took their hearts out. That 13-point lead meant nothing.
Yeah, that shot by Jordan that sent the game into overtime, it was almost exactly like the shot that could have won game 1.
Yes.
So
yes,
MJ redeemed himself pretty quickly.
He did.
Yeah, 76 Bulls beating the Pistons was almost more of a confidence boost. Bulls didn't realize, hey, we belong at the top. Emotional victory, as you alluded to. He said passing.
1,000%. Even Magic Johnson said it himself. That was the passing of the torch. And not only did Michael Jordan grabbed it, like Magic Johnson said. He grabbed it. He said, "Give it here, Magic. That's mine now."
Hey, that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
It was like, nope, it's my time now.
The only thing I really wish it was so close to happening in '92. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, the Celtics were playing the Cavs while the Bulls were playing the Knicks. If the Celtics had beaten the Cavs and Jordan beat Bird to go to the '92 finals, that would have just been perfect. Because that's one thing I'm sick and tired of seeing on social media. Well, Jordan never beat Bird, and Bird beat him 0-9. Like, Jordan's 0-9 in the playoffs versus Bird. So Bird's better than Jordan. Like, if only that could have happened. If only that could happen.
The first, maybe the whole 0-9, he was playing with the traveling circus of crackheads. So.
Oh, yeah. That was before Scotty. That was before Horace. That was before Phil Jackson. Oh, that was even before Doug Collins. Like, that doesn't count. Right? That doesn't count.
MJ basically said he was playing with a bunch of crackheads at that point.
Yeah, I mean, 0-9, but he had to average over 40 points a game and, still lost, but he did what he could.
Right. Oh, man, that's crazy. So, as far as the Bulls, the 91 season, the finals, who do you feel like was the unsung hero of the team?
Let's see what Bulls Nation has to say before I jump in. I want to see if Sammy or somebody will answer that.
Unsung hero. Sam says, I'm sure Bird remembers that 71 piece that Jordan gave him. 63 piece in the playoffs.
Yeah, the famous that was not Jordan, that was God disguised as Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He remembers.
So I'm gonna say unsung hero was John Paxson.
Okay.
Because like I said, John was tough. And he could handle all of the Pistons' underhand tactics, and he was going to knock down those shots. Anytime
he did not miss.
Yeah,
he did not miss, and it wasn't just in the finals. It wasn't just in the playoffs. If you look at his stats in that 91 and 92 season, I mean, he was shooting like close to 60%. And again, they were not layups. Just to tell you, I can't remember the stat, but I think he shot like less than 30 free throws a season. He was never going to the hoop. He was just the outside shooter. He was a designated outside shooter. It took the ball out of, took the pressure off Mike and Scotty as they were slashing to the hoop. It was perfect.
Yeah. Like I said, he was diddly with that shot.
Diddly.
I know, a lot of Bulls Nation now will recognize John Pax's name as part of Garpax, but
no.
way before then.
Way before that. Yeah, I mean, just think that's good. That's a good point. Fourth quarter of Game 6 or Game 5, Phil Jackson asks, "Who's open? Who's open?" "Oh, John is. Get him the ball. Hit John the ball." He did. That was it. He scored like the last 8 points of the game. Man, Bulls ahead of the time again. Non-traditional point guards, Paxson, BJ, and Hodges spacing the floor. Yeah, they were combo guards. 6'2", 6'3" combo guards is what they were. Yep. The Bulls point guards were always Jordan and Pippen, honestly. And Kukoc too, to a degree later on. He would bring the ball up.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Sammy Mitchell and Craig Hodges. He was also a lethal shooter.
Yes, he was.
Set a 3-point contest record that season.
That's right. It still exists to this day. 19 consecutive. And that was on his way to his second of 3 consecutive 3-point shooting championships. So, yeah, he was a dead-eye shooter. Even the year that after he was blackballed from the NBA, he was invited to, and he participated in the 93 3-point shootout wearing an NBA jersey, just an NBA logo with some shorts.
And what?
That's how great he was as a shooter. One of the greatest shooters of all time. Just pure butter.
Yeah. I mean, shout out our guy Stacy, who told us the story of why Craig Hodges was blackballed from the NBA when they won the 91 championship, and they were invited to the White House to meet the president. And Craig tried to give the president an envelope that was pretty much telling them how he needed to help out the Black and I believe the Muslim communities.
Yes.
Because it was a directive from Louis Farrakhan. And yeah, that ended up being the end of his NBA playing career.
That was it. And Stacey, Scott Williams, and BJ, according to Stacey, they all begged Craig, "Don't do it. Please don't do it." And then when he showed up in an all-white dashiki, oh, man, he did it. No. Yeah. Great shooter, but according to Stacey, not a very good defender. And that's why he played a lot less under Phil than he did the previous year. When he initially came to Chicago under Doug Collins, he was a starter. And he just wasn't defending well enough for Phil Jackson's system. So he got benched. But still one of my all-time favorite Bulls. I think if you put Craig Hodges in today's NBA, he would average 25 a game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't.
Right.
I mean, you can't really touch anybody. He can't check, and he was already just knocking shots down anyway.
Yeah.
Defense isn't as important right now because a lot of players don't play defense, so he probably would spend more time on the court than he did back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because
no doubt. Probably be an all-star player.
Extremely emphasized back then.
Yeah.
And that was kind of optional.
Right.
To where, if somebody can play offense and defense, we're calling them a two-way player. But back then, was just a normal NBA player. You played both sides of the ball.
That's right.
Or it would come down to being like a Craig Hodges, where you're put in just to hit some shots and you're going to get pulled out because you're going to give up those points.
That's what happened with him. That's why he didn't play much. If he'd miss his first 2 or 3 shots, that was it. He was out of the game. So
yeah,
it was kind of hard for him to really be much of a contributor on that team.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't see why he wouldn't average 25.
Right.
Even though some people may consider that a hat take.
Give me the hot sauce! Give me the hot sauce!
So, give me the hot sauce hat take for this 91 episode.
Oh, come on, Bulls Nation. Let's give him some hot takes. Come on.
I wouldn't say a hat take. It's probably not even a hat take. But this is the most important championship in franchise history.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's the most important. If they had lost that finals, who knows what would have happened after that?
Yeah.
Maybe win 92, yeah, but I don't know. Most important, yes. I would say so.
Yeah. Like it was the most important for Jordan because, like I said, at the start, he was getting that criticism. Scoring champions don't win championships.
That's right.
And he proved that wrong. He said, I can win a scoring title and I'm going to win NBA titles. And I'm not just going to do it this year. I'm going to do it the next year and year
That's
after
right.
that.
That's right.
Take a break and do it 3 more times.
You know what? My hot take is going to be sweeping the Pistons was harder than beating the Lakers.
Yeah, definitely mentally.
Yeah. Even though it was a sweep, even though only game 4 was even close, it took a complete and total focus. And they were focused on that from the beginning of the season. And, it really catapulted on the Christmas Day game, which happened to be the premier game of the NBA on NBC. In Chicago Stadium at the Madhouse on Madison, the Chicago Bulls spanked the Detroit Pistons and ended up beating them by about 16. I think it was 98-82 was the final score.
Listen, he says, I'm not sure what hat takes to say.
That's fine. But yeah, I would say sweeping Detroit was even more difficult than beating the Lakers.
Okay. I think maybe the hot take should have been beating the Pistons on Christmas led to the NBA championship.
That's it.
Yeah. Because they, like I said, Jordan got bigger. He was getting ready. Like, I'm not going to let these dudes keep beating up on me. And then for them to crush them like that in Christmas, they already had that confidence.
That's right.
After, you said they started 0-3. They finished 61-21.
That's right.
Never lost 3 in a row ever again in the Dynasty era.
The other side of the spectrum from what we recently experienced as Bulls fans this previous year, starting 5-0 and then finishing 31-52. I had to throw that one in there. Remember, it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Hopefully, that'll change now that we have C-Dub and it'll resemble more of a 90s Bulls records where we're winning 60 games.
And you know what? Since you bring up C-Dub, I'm going to go ahead and give you that opportunity now. You're the one that baptized them with the name. I'm going to give you the platform to officially announce it. The nickname for Modest Buzelis and Caleb Wilson is
the Slap Bros.
The Slap Bros. That's right, the Slap Bros.
Hey,
I love it.
BG said he wanted to slap. We got Caleb, we got Modest. It's the Slap Brothers.
Nick Claxton, he's a slap brother.
You had the Splash Brothers.
Yeah.
Were DeMar and Zach ever known as the Slash Brothers? I remember that kind of being a thing, but never really picked up steam.
But DeMar was never really a slasher. Zach was. DeMar was a mid-range post-up guy. I don't know. There was a time when was it Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade? Were they the Slash Brothers?
Maybe.
I
remember hearing it for some combination.
I think it was Jimmy and Dwayne Wade, man.
The three alphas.
The three alphas, man. Wow, what a mix-up. That's a hot take there. If Rajon Rondo does not get injured, the Bulls go to the finals that year. There you go. That's for another episode.
Wow, finals? Yeah, that's a hot take. I'm like, when that series short, finals, I don't know.
Right? Hey, man, you can always dream big. Dreaming is free. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and ask, what if we had Facebook, we had Instagram, we had Twitter X back in 1991? What would social media say about the Detroit Pistons and how they acted after 91? After the 91 closeout game, Game 4, getting swept.
Somebody said Pippen, Jordan / Rose. It would have got really, really spicy on social media.
What did Horace Grant say?
Huh?
Horace Grant on The Last Dance, bunch of bitches, right?
Oh, yeah. It would have been real spicy.
It would have been real spicy. Bunch of bitches.
I like my meatballs spicy.
The bad boys quit. No handshake, stay classy. Yeah, it would have been interesting for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, it probably would have been like a small civil war in Chicago and Detroit.
Oh yeah, it would have been ugly. You imagine being in a war room between Chicago and Detroit fans? Whew. Man. I remember those Bulls Heat fan groups or battle groups I used to be in back in the 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Those were some hot groups.
So let's do like some type of rapid fire here with 91 against some of the other teams. Well, kind of some other just not even a championship team, just Bulls teams. Better shot, Jordan's switch hand layup or the shot over Elo?
The shot over Elo without a I mean, my God. Honestly, the shot over Elo is probably the greatest shot in NBA history after Game 6 against the Jazz. Because Bulls were down by 1, Game 5, elimination game. He misses that. The trajectory of Cleveland probably goes up, and Chicago probably goes down a bit. That was huge for the Bulls as a franchise.
Yeah, I agree with you. 91, the switch hands. I remember Jordan saying it was because he saw long arm Sam Perkins on the side.
That's right.
He thought he was going to block the ball, so he switched it. I don't think he necessarily had to switch it.
He did not have to switch it. He could have dunked it right in his face.
Yeah.
And he did later on in that series in Game 3. You could see it. There are GIFs all over the place where he's jamming it right over Sam Perkins, literally right in his mug.
Yeah, so at that point, definitely shot over Elo.
Shot over Elo, man.
Because the Bulls had lost to the Cavs before. It was them before the Pistons.
That's right.
So the first hurdle was getting past the Cavs.
Yeah, so, you could even make the argument that the shot against Cleveland was even bigger than the shot against Utah because there was still a little bit of time left on the clock, and there was still Game 7.
Yep.
So even though the Bulls went on to lose to the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals that year, it didn't matter. To put the Bulls in the next level, and Jordan, his confidence that went with it, it definitely affected both teams, Cleveland and Chicago.
Definitely. Horace Grant or Dennis Rodman?
I'll let somebody answer that. I've got my answer. I'll answer it with this. Dennis Rodman is the greatest defensive player in the history of the NBA. That's a guy that could guard Magic, Michael, Bird, Shaq, Malone, Kemp. He could guard every position on the floor. Nothing. He brought you nothing in terms of scoring. His way of scoring really was getting an offensive rebound and passing it out for the wide open shot. That was really his the way that he led the scoring. But I would have to say Dennis Rodman in a heartbeat. What say you?
Yeah, Rodman, I think, had said my job was rebound the ball and find 23.
Yeah.
And he's the greatest rebounder in NBA history.
Yes.
As far as maybe importance to the championships, I kind of feel it's a toss-up because Horace was a big part of that first three, and he did more than just rebound the ball. He was also scoring.
Yeah.
His defense was pivotal in that 93 one. So it's kind of even. Rodman was greater at what he did.
Oh, yeah.
I feel he kind of had the easier job of just going, getting that board and finding Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, Horace was definitely more well-rounded. Matter of fact, for young Bulls fans who might not have been able to see him play, he was a lot like Taj Gibson. Hard hat, lunch pail, very similar game. Very good mid-range perimeter shot off the pick and pop. Tenacious defender. Could defend on the break as well on a full court set. Horace Grant was definitely great at what he brought. Now, question to you is this, since we're on the topic. Let's say Horace Grant never goes to the Magic and he stays on the team, and Dennis Rodman is out of the NBA because nobody wants him, all right? Which would probably happen if that Will Purdue for Dennis Rodman trade didn't happen in 95. That he probably would have been out of the NBA. Do the Bulls still win 96, 97, 98? Do they still win 72 games with Horace Grant as the power forward?
I'm going to say they do just because it's Jordan. You fit pieces around him that work, and you're going to win a championship. So
Okay.
I'll say yes.
I'll tell you, that 94 team, Horace Grant was still the power forward, the starting power forward. This is last year. Jordan had announced his retirement just a couple days before training camp, right? Bulls still ended up winning 2 less games than the previous year. They added Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr, Bill Wennington, very good role players, Pete Myers. So if Jordan had played in that year, and if they had made all those additions, you could actually make the statement. You could say that team might have been the best team of all time.
You could also make the statement 8 straight championships.
Yeah. So it's definitely interesting and fun to think about just how good that Bulls team was without Michael. Very close to going to the finals, maybe not winning at all, but at least going to the finals. That was unbelievable. So, yeah, Horace Grant was a big part of that. Horace Grant, that was the one year that he did make the All-Star team. Him and B.J. Armstrong both.
Yep.
So, no, Horace Grant was a very valuable player. I feel like what you said hit the nail on the head. What he did better. He did better than anybody, and that's rebound and defend for that matter. Defending the low post. He was tough.
No, I'll give a slight edge to Rodman.
Yeah.
Because I got to hit this one more time.
Give me the hot sauce! Give me the hot sauce!
Horace Grant is the original ring chaser.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Because he left the Bulls because MJ retired and
Yes.
was Shaq and Penny coming up and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go over here and win the championship."
Yes.
And I believe he said on interview, had he found out the number 23 was coming back, he probably wouldn't have left.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Horace is the original ring chaser.
He is Judas Shuttlesworth before Judas Shuttlesworth. Absolutely, man. And, after all these years, I forgive Horace, but I still hate you to this day. What you did in Game 6 of the 95 semifinals at the United Center, man, out of all places. God, I still hate him for that. But if I see him, though, I'll talk to him and thank him for everything he did. But okay, here's another question.
LeBron James.
Oh, yeah. Who's that? Who's LBJ? Are we talking about Lyndon B. Johnson, the greatest president of all time? Because I don't know who LBJ is. I don't know who the other LBJ is.
LeBitch James.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Melissa, because now we are slandering his last flop documentary that's about to come out.
The last flop. Yeah. That's exactly what it should be called. Makes me sick.
But
okay, here's another one. Which Bull deserves to have his banner, his number hanging up in the rafters? Dennis Rodman or Horace Grant? Rodman. Okay. Only 3 years, but those 3 years, here's the thing about those 3 years, all right? Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan are still the only undefeated big three in NBA history. They never lost a series. Never. Think about that. Undefeated.
never lost.
Never lost. Still waiting for that first L. Never happened.
Yeah, we forgive Horace though for being the original ring chaser and leading the Bulls. He's a Bulls ambassador now, so shout out to him for that.
Shout out to Horace, man. Much respect to you, Horace. But yeah, Derek is right. If you're watching this, you, my friend, are the original ring chaser.
One more question for everybody. Better coaching job for Phil Jackson, 91 or 98?
Let's see what's. Come on, Missy. Let's see what you have to say. I knew you got the answer on this one.
Personally, I'm gonna go 98.
You're gonna go 98?
Oldest team in the NBA. Dennis was a loose cannon. Scottie had the back problems. And
yeah, he only played 49 games that year.
Yep. He aggravated it in the playoffs.
Yes.
That game 6, Jordan scored like half of the team's points and won.
Yeah.
Missy says she missed the question. The question is, what was Phil's better coaching year, 91 or 98? But yeah, I'm definitely going 98 because they were the oldest team in the NBA.
Yeah, and then when you think about it, he knew whether if he went 82-0 and won the championship, that he was still going to be out.
Yep.
So I would have to agree with you on that, to be honest. Even more so than the age part, the mental that it took with that. It's unreal. Now let's see. Phil Jackson. Let's just talk about Phil here for a second. Phil, when you think about it, Phil Jackson had a 6-peat as a coach from 96 to 98, and then he came back and won another 3-peat with the Lakers his first year with them. So, yeah, Phil Jackson, he's the real Lord of the Rings. People talk about Bill Russell. Phil Jackson's the real Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because he's got 2 with the Knicks, 1970 and 73 as a player. And then he's got 11 as a coach, so 13 total.
Yep.
So,
yep. Missy agreed with 98.
Yeah, I would have to agree. My first thought was 91, but definitely have to go with 98.
Yeah, but I mean, 91, of course, was significant too because that was getting them over the hump of finally winning the championship. But yeah, being told like even if you win the championship and you go 82-0 after this season, you're out of here, and you still gonna win the championship.
Yeah, and just think if that team was at full strength, because remember we started off 9-8, and we'll dive deep into this in a few episodes from now when we talk about the 98 team. But that team started 9-8. Struggling badly. I remember at that point I was in high school and I was on pins and needles at the beginning of the year. I'm like, man, imagine if the Bulls had been healthy from the beginning, they might have been close to another 70-win season.
Yeah. I mean, they probably could have got it in 97 as well, but
yeah, Scotty didn't brick that wide open 3-point shot against the Knicks. I'll never forget that. To this day, man, wide open. Oh, he didn't even brick it. He just bounced it off the backboard. You're like, it's unbelievable. Thanks a lot, Scotty.
As one last question before we get out of here, the 1991 Bulls championship was special because
I want to give the fans a moment. Let's see what Missy has to say. Let's see what Sammy has to say.
Get an answer.
I can answer this, or you want to answer it?
I'm going to let you go first.
It was so special because it erased every single negative narrative surrounding Michael Jordan and the Bulls. All of those negative narratives were flushed down the drain forever.
Missy said, I'm sorry, I missed it again, multitasking. The question was, why was the 91 championship special? Also, I have no clue what new Scotty clip is out of.
I don't know if I want to see that, Missy.
If you didn't know, according to John, Scottie Pippen died during COVID.
Yeah, anything we're seeing of Scotty now, rest in peace. That's zombie Pippen. Because ever since COVID hit, he's been on some other level of bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So we're not seeing Scottie Pippen, we're seeing zombie Pippen.
So my answer to the question. I'm gonna let Stacey answer it.
Final second.
This is what dreams are made of right here. Yes.
That's why the 91 championship was special. That's what dreams are made of.
That's right.
We completed the goal. They fulfilled their dream of the NBA championship, and it just led to more. And we will talk about more on the next episode of the Dynasty Series, picking up with 92, back to back.
And Stacey will be a big part of that one.
Yep. Of course, he would have actually been on the episode.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the big homie.
Rest in peace.
All right. So, Melissa is saying the triangle. I'm guessing that's her answer to the why was the 91 championship special?
Because of the triangle. Right. Okay.
Of course, rest in peace to Stacey. So yeah, and Missy, asked you a question earlier. I don't know if I got an answer. About a possible episode coming up.
We got to get Missy on the show. She's always involved, and she's the most valuable commentator. Don't do that.
All right, I guess I'll hold off on it. So yeah, as I said, we'll pick up the Dynasty Series with the 92 episode. And until next time, Bulls Nation, drive home safely, Chicago. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.